DVR-027. The Sea Hawk by Raphael Sabatini. Chapter 5. The Buckler. It was old Nicholas that brought the news next morning to the brothers as they were breaking their fast. Lionel should have kept his bed that day, but dared not, lest the fact arouse suspicion. He had a little fever, the natural result both of his wound and of his loss of blood. He was inclined to welcome rather than deplore it, since it set a flush on cheeks that otherwise must have looked too pale. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recording. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, visit LibriVox.org. The Sea Hawk by Raphael Sabatini. Section 9. Part 2, Chapter 1. The Captive. Sakr el-Bahir, the Hawk of the Sea, the scourge of the Mediterranean and the terror of Christian Spain, lay prone on the heights of Cape Spartel. Above him, on the crest of the cliff, ran the dark green line of the orange groves of Araish, the reputed garden of the Hesperides of the ancients, where the golden apples grew. A mile or so to eastward were dotted the huts and tents of a Bedouin encampment on the fertile emerald pasture land that spread away as far as eye could range towards Ceuta. Nearer, astride of a gray rock, an almost naked goatherd, a lithe brown stripling with a cord of camel hair about its shaven head, intermittently made melancholy and unmelodious sounds upon a reed pipe. From somewhere in the blue vault of heaven overhead came the joyous trilling of a lark, from below the silken rustling of the tideless sea. Sakr el-Bahir lay prone upon a cloak of woven camel hair amid luxuriating fern and samphire, on the very edge of the shelf of cliff to which he had climbed. On either side of him squatted a Negro from the Sus, both naked of all save white loincloths, their muscular bodies glistening like ebony in the dazzling sunshine of mid-May. They wielded crude fans fashioned from the yellowing leaves of date palms, and their duty was to wave these gently to and fro above their lord's head, to give him air and to drive off the flies. Sakr el-Bahir was in the very prime of life, a man of great length of body, with a deep Herculean torso and limbs that advertised a giant's strength. His hawk-nosed face, ending in a black forked beard, was of a swarthiness accentuated to exaggeration by the snowy white turban wound about his brow. His eyes, by contrast, were singularly light. He wore over his white shirt a long green tunic of very light silk, woven along its edges with arabesques in gold. A pair of loose calico breeches reached to his knees. His brown muscular calves were naked, and his feet were shod in a pair of Moorish shoes of crimson leather, with up-curling and very pointed toes. He had no weapons other than the heavy-bladed knife with a jeweled hilt that was thrust into his girdle of plated leather. A yard or two away, on his left, lay another supine figure, elbows on the ground and hands arched above his brow to shade his eyes, gazing out to sea. He, too, was a tall and powerful man, and when he moved, there was a glint of armor from the chainmail in which his body was cased, and from the steel casque about which he had swathed his green turban. Beside him lay an enormous curved scimitar in a sheath of brown leather that was heavy with steel ornaments. His face was hand